I heard you say something about lucid dreams.
Yeah, that's where you're asleep and you know that you're asleep while you're in the dream. And in some cases, some people who practice it can get really good at inducing that state and exert a degree of control over the dream itself. But it doesn't sound like that's what you were talking about.
Yeah, I think what Sia said, false memories,
Yeah.
because it felt like it was so real. I had the whole memory. I was excited about it. I forgot what I was exactly telling him, but he was like, "Bro, that didn't happen. You talking about last month?" And I was like, "Yeah, last month." He's like, "No, this person lives here, and they didn't do this. They haven't been over here." And I had a whole story made up that I thought was so true that we had to call him and get the best 2 out of 3 answers, and they won, 2 versus 1. And yeah, I guess that story was untrue. And I still tell myself like I think they might be tripping a little bit, but I know how my memory is, so I just had to give
Mm.
in eventually. I still think sometimes like I forgot what the story was, but sometimes when I see it, I'm like, yeah, I might think you lying to me, maybe just a little bit. Like this might have happened, but yeah, like I said, I got to give in with this memory that I'm dealing with. Um, just got to give up and say, all right, you're right, which sucks. But oh, Mark, before you left, I was wondering if you could tell me the difference between an aura and a panic attack. I believe you told me before. That's why the reason I was telling you again.
Wait, is something before something again? What? I'm sorry, I
Oh
didn't.
no, I think we've answered this question before, but I can't exactly remember the difference between an aura and a panic attack.
I mean, I would say subjectively in the moment, the biggest differentiator I would look for is some actual reason to panic. Like if I'm sitting and watching Ancient Aliens and I start to feel this sensation, there's no reason for me to actually be panicking. If I'm watching Ancient Aliens and I start smelling smoke coming from the other room, there's a reason to start panicking. And I would kind of look for those sort of physical differentiators. I mean, that smoke is not a good example necessarily, but is like you get the general concept. Like, is there a reason to panic or is there not? But in a broader sense, auras are seizures. Like I think we've all kind of hammered this home that an aura and a seizure are really the same thing. Um, just because one hasn't generalized doesn't mean that it isn't um, any less significant. So I guess that would be my 2 cents on auras and panic attacks at this moment. So ask me again in a few weeks and we'll see how close these answers are.
Yeah, I think it was pretty close to the answer that we might have answered it a few weeks ago. I think this was close to what you said last time. just as
Okay.
interesting, but it was close. Sia?
Um, as someone who has a lot of auras as well too, I used to have panic attacks when I was younger, but I think that majority of those were actually not panic attacks because I have noticed a pretty significant difference for myself personally. Um, my panic attacks are much more chill in comparison with my auras, if that makes any sense. Like with my auras, um, I start with a weird pressure, like intense pressure sensation, and it builds over time. Um, my body, like my stomach doesn't drop. It's like my body is dropping. Like I feel like I'm being like someone's putting bricks on me and weighing me down heavier and heavier. And then the head pain starts coming in and it starts getting progressively worse. My eye starts twitching, specifically my right one. Um, and then I start to slur my words, stumbling over words, stuff like that. But with a panic attack, it's really just panic. Um, like there's something like Mark was saying, there's something to panic about, so I'm starting to panic and I start talking very quickly. My heart starts racing and I start shaking, but like not like full body shaking, like, convulsions. I mean more like shaking. So oh, it's okay. It's okay. So I've noticed a pretty significant difference myself.
Hyperventilating.
Sort of.
Have you ever?
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah.
that it just gets so tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter.
Yeah, it's like constricting and that's what I get with like the panic attacks, but with the auras, I don't get the chest constriction. I get constriction in my head, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that makes a lot of sense. Feels like you got a headband on and can't take it off. I know what you mean. Hmm. I got one. It says pain with intimacy. Epilepsy meds? Question mark. Hope everybody is staying as safe and healthy as possible. This is super embarrassing question, but it's been weighing on me so much that I felt I needed to chat with someone who might have some insight. To sum it up, make a long story short, I have a loot of pain during intimacy with various partners. I'm a woman, and no matter how much I'm ready to go, in quotes, ready to go is in quotes. When it comes to actual intercourse, it's very, very painful. Typically, I am able to do it, and after a moment, adjust, the pain goes away. My current boyfriend is absolute the best, and he just acts as if nothing strange or out of the ordinary is going on when I'm taking a minute or struggling. I've told him this is my preference. He's also, of course, very sensitive to how I'm feeling. It gets in my head sometimes because this has this has happened with other partners in the past, unless they were a bit on the smaller side. Sorry, boys. LOL. Does anyone know if this can be related to epilepsy meds? I take Depakote and Lamictal as well as Adderall for ADHD, but this has gone on for much longer than I've taken Adderall. Final few factors. I'm a nicotine smoker of 5+ years, like a lot per day, in the process of quitting. And I will also be consulting my neuro, GYN. Just wanted to see other people's thoughts. Thank you for hearing me out. And again, I hope everyone is doing well.
I have a lot to add to this one. And without going, I'm gonna try to go without TMI stuff, but number one, I have been doing a lot of research on medications, and Lamictal can cause bladder issues, bladder pain, and pain downstairs for some people. It's a more rare side effect, but it is a side effect that is possible. So that is a possibility. But you're also a female, and as a female myself, I have had a long history of that kind of pain. So my issues with that stem from female issues, endometriosis, and adenomyosis, and it causes a lot of pressure. And so that could be a possible cause, and I would suggest consulting with an OB because if that is the case, there are treatments for it that you can, find and try out that could help you to get on a better track.
So with your insight then, is that dyspareunia?
Dyspareunia, did you say?
Yeah, did you ever actually get that diagnosis? Because that's what I see as the condition actually linked to Adderall. And it sounds like
Hold
that
on, let
might
me
be a
see.
different kind of pain because it sounds like the dyspareunia is more localized in the genitals.
That is a diagnosis that I got with the endometriosis. So it's a secondary
Okay,
symptom
so it is probably
of
the same kind of pain
condition.
they're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that I didn't know it was linked to Adderall. I've never tried that myself, but as far as like the menstrual issues, that kind of thing, yes, that is something that is heavily associated with endometriosis.
Yeah, apparently Adderall can amplify existing anxiety, which can be a significant contributor to sexual dysfunction, including dyspareunia. And that's
And
something
Lamictal
they
too,
never
like
tell
I was
anybody.
saying too, that one can also cause pain downstairs too. So it could be like a combination of things.
Was the post on Adderall and lamotrigine, did you say? I'd only heard Adderall in the post. I wasn't sure if they mentioned any other any actual epilepsy meds.
Oh yeah, I think Pookie, you said Lamictal was one of her medications, right?
Yeah. Another thing is though, I think she said she didn't have the pain when it was smaller guys. Any correlation to that?
Yes. The deeper you go, the more pain because the inflammation can be higher up if you're at a lower stage of endo. And then as far as the inflammation with the medications, I think that that's kind of I don't think that there would be I of course don't know myself, but I don't know if there would be a correlation with that.
Okay.
Well, I mean, just a general overview is that dyspareunia or painful sexual intercourse can be caused by various factors. So we kind of narrowed down that the medication is probably the cause on this one, and size can play a role in some cases, but it's not the only or common reason. So maybe it was just what worked for her at the time. But yeah, it sounds like size does play a part in the amount of, like she said, because of the depth and width and whatnot.
I got something here. It says cognitive function test. I have temporal lobe epilepsy. It came out of nowhere 9 months ago. My doctor suggested a cognitive function test to get a baseline. Any advice on this, specifically as it relates to employment? My cognitive functions are pretty good.
Are they more specific on like what their score has to be or something? Because cognitive function, I'm not sure if that's equivalent to like the state test that like children have to take to move on to the next grade or something.
I don't know. That was all that there was that I read.
Okay.
But the first comment says, I have adult onset intractable epilepsy. Too many meds on the list. Too many meds to list. what I'm about to say sucks so much. Epilepsy makes you stupid over time. Even more if your seizures are uncontrollable. It also has a great deal to do with when your seizures are happening. I don't care what anyone says. It's a fact of epilepsy. Every time you have a seizure, damage is done. Read the studies. I was the lead electrical system working R&D when my seizure started getting bad. I had to retire at 25 years because I had to retire 25 years early because I couldn't function at that level anymore. I was that guy. I didn't take those notes because why bother? I'll remember it, not anymore. Now here is why I say I do it. Do we get stupid because of the medication or because of epilepsy? Having a baseline might tell you it's medication that can be changed. I'm no neurologist, so what do I know? Epilepsy making spelling
No,
errors.
you're waiting for you.
Hey, Liz.
Hey, Pookie, I was just waiting for you to finish.
Oh, I was finished there. That was someone's comment. But cognitive functions, isn't that like moving my limbs and stuff? I'm pretty good with that. It's so sad. That I don't know what
Cognitive function is
means.
like thinking and problem solving, and like they were talking about a lead electrical system something, and so that's like, technical stuff. It's, I don't know, it's something I relate to. I used to be a mechanical engineer at Siemens. I worked on gas turbine power plants, and now, no, not so much.
You are just so freaking cool. You
What?
play an instrument and you worked on turbines?
Yes.
That
Yeah,
is so freaking cool.
there's a lot of musicians in the STEM fields. You'd be
My husband
surprised
is
how
one.
much. Yeah, yeah, cool. Yeah, you see, 100% of polled participants are musicians in STEM fields.
I
There we
will
go.
not budge on Baby Delta being the drummer. But yes, the Funky Brain Bunch is coming to town.
I'm extremely confused right now, but
Yeah, I've taken my
I'll
medicines.
catch up.
Don't mind me.
Are you guys done with that one?
I
I didn't
mean,
want to cut you off, Mark.
we
Go
could
ahead.
be done whenever we choose to stop, I suppose. Um, let's say done. I don't remember
Um,
what was.
we
Oh,
were talking
wait,
about the cognitive
yeah,
function, but we can move
cognitive
forward.
function. Now, yeah, now it's difficult to think. I mean, you're seeing a perfect example, right? So, I don't know.
I think the cognitive function is, not only testing what information that you retain, but how you use it.
Okay.
Like the fact that I forgot that my mom baked an apple pie and I'm being called and Thank you. Liz, I am so glad to meet you.
Toaster.
Oh, hi, Toaster. Yes, I'm very glad to meet you too. I've been reading your stories and enjoying them so much. You have
Thank
quite
you.
a
I may
wonderful,
be
wonderful
crazy, but
talent.
I am benign.
But you have a wonderful talent and you really have a great imagination. And you're keeping Jeff going all day with these wonderful stories. He's really, really just, having a great time with them.
You use my idea. God, I pounce on him like prompt time. Give me a prompt. So yeah. So okay.
I got something. It says the guy I'm dating says I'm overreacting about my epilepsy. So I started dating a guy, and apparently he thinks I talk too much about my epilepsy and that I'm overreacting. My epilepsy is under control right now, and it's been for a few years. I don't drink, don't smoke, don't do drugs, and don't drink caffeine because I don't want to trigger a seizure. But even if I have a seizure under control, even if my seizures are under control, I always feel that I have the sword of Damocles over my head, and that at any moment my meds could stop working and I could have a seizure. I'm not constantly thinking about it, but it's a looming feeling that's always in the background. Even if the seizures are under control, I don't feel I'm completely normal, besides the meds side effects. And sometimes I think I could have died last time. I had a lot of seizures, one after another, that doctors couldn't stop. If I had been home alone, he doesn't seem to grasp the severity of TCs or how scary focals can be. I'm starting to doubt myself and thinking maybe I am exaggerating and I should just loosen up a bit, be happy my seizures are under control, and just live my life. What do you think? Um, Ladies could probably answer this better. Um, Anyone ever told you you're overreacting? No female has told me that. So, is this
I'm sorry,
person?
that's my bad. I missed the question.
Oh, the question was, what do you think? She said, I'm starting to doubt myself and thinking maybe I'm exaggerating and should loosen up a bit and be happy my seizures are under control and just live my life. What do you think? I think it sucks that he's telling her stuff like that, that she talks about it too much. But yeah.
That's makes it obvious that he doesn't see it as a priority. If she's talking about it, then obviously there's questions to be answered or discussions to be had. There's subjects that are relevant to bring up and actually have a conversation about. And if his head's in the right place and the intentions are there, then he would want to help her have those discussions, learn more. Because obviously the people that don't have the seizures are the ones who stand to benefit the most from talking about it. Because they're not going to get
Yeah,
it.
I wouldn't say that that's overreacting at all on her end. It's very dismissive to tell somebody something like that, especially with epilepsy and seizures just in general. They are difficult to go through. It's a lot, and whether you're controlled or not, it's still something that's always in your mind. You know you have it, and we all know at this point that even if you are technically cured, then it can always come back. So I don't like that term, at least. Or that it's even thought that it's possible, because it's always going to be a part of us still.
Right, I'm going to go through these comments. Someone says, my neuro has always said that when you first become seizure free, the level of hypervigilance is completely normal. That feeling of being overdue a seizure is a natural one if you were having them regularly before. It should start to fade over time and allow you to believe in the control a bit more. If it doesn't, it may be that you would benefit from speaking to someone about remaining so anxious. but I think at the moment it's understandable. Give yourself a break. Read the guy you're talking, reevaluate the guy you're dating. If others have said you need to make sure it's not all you to talk about, but it's also a significant part of your life and it warrants some empathy from him. If you're not getting that from him now, when you're not seizing, if you have a breakthrough or things change, I'd question how supportive he would be. See how things go and if things may improve, but he also might not be the guy for you. That's a good comment for a lady to tell another lady, I guess.
Yeah, that encouragement to reevaluate. Definitely don't put yourself down for it, and look at the bigger picture. If you shouldn't stand for this now, then handle it how you want. Give him the ultimatum, or let him be who he wants to be and find somebody better for you, who's actually going to take it seriously. Because unfortunately, it is part of you.
Now we got someone. Hey, Liz, how are you? Oh, no, we got another Liz.
Which one are you speaking to?
The one that I believe might have epilepsy is the reason she's here. Oh, shit, her mic is screwy. Well, yeah, the icebreaker was something you would have to say, so I guess you can listen. This person says, I am scared. I am totally and completely in love with my husband. We are two parts of a whole. We make each other laugh every day. We have two beautiful young children together. I am never finished college, but I stay home with the kids, so I am very financially dependent on him. We are also very emotional dependent on each other. I pull him out of the dark places when he starts feeling depressed, and he is my safe space when it comes to OCD. He is the light of my life, and if he were gone, my life would lose its color. I knew he had epilepsy when we got married nearly 8 years ago, but he had not had one in years. A while back, he started having reading-induced jaw seizures, but they increased his Keppra and they stopped. I saw him have a seizure for the first time this winter. He missed one dose of medication, something that's happened several times in the past, but nothing ever happened. This time, he did have a seizure, and it was terrible. He fell and got hurt, seized and got up and ran around. Almost 3 months later, he had another. This time, he was in bed. And I know you aren't supposed to restrain someone during a seizure, but I was able to keep him in bed where he was safe. This was very concerning since after years without a seizure, he had just 2 months apart. He always gets sick 10 times worse than everyone else. We got little colds once, but when he caught it, he was sick for a month and ended up with an inhaler. A month ago, our son had diarrhea. I was kind of gassy, but nothing serious. It was a Saturday. He was fine for most of the day. He went and hung out with a friend and then came home that evening. He very quickly got sick all of a sudden. He threw up and had diarrhea until he had nothing left and was completely dehydrated. Then, despite the forgetting his medication, he had a seizure. It's been really hard. I have begun worrying if his medication is losing its effectiveness. Now we have colds and he feels so hot. I don't think our thermometer is very accurate, so I have not bothered looking for it, but he feels like an oven. I am scared he will have another. I have already been having some anxiety about him having another, but now that he is sick, I am so jumpy. I am trying to keep him hydrated and rested, but I am scared for him. Does anyone have some insight? He started having seizures at 17, and they do not know the cause. He is 32 this summer. He takes Keppra and something else in the morning and the night. The question was, does anyone have insight?
I would suggest have a plan in place. If you know he has seizures, fever is definitely gonna mess with that, especially when fevers last too long. If you can't get the temperature down within like 6 hours or something, I know a bad one's gonna happen. Whenever I'm above like 101, give or take. But yeah, that's have a plan in place is my number one suggestion. Know where the nasal am is, keep those rescue meds in a well-known place, and don't leave them alone. Trust your intuition. You know, I mean, if you know him best at this point, get ready. Call for one of those, doctor's lines, explain that list of symptoms. They have all the facts together. So a medical professional might even be able to look into the chart, give them even better advice on what point you might have to bring them in. Some fluids might be the only way to bring that down if there's so many meds for fevers that we can't even take.
Yeah, one thing I was thinking is when she said the thermometer doesn't work and she basically wasn't worried about going to find it or using it, that's not good either because um I've heard, I haven't from personal experience, I haven't had seizures from fevers, but I've heard you can have seizures when your runs too high. Um yeah, and she seemed like the thermometer wasn't a big deal. And I think when he has a fever and he has epilepsy, you got to check on that because could be a cause of the seizure and could have stopped the seizure if he didn't have the fever, or if you even knew it was a fever.
Check about check about medication interactions between the anti-epilepsy drugs and any sort of cold, cough, flu type medications, anti-fever, fever reducers. Tylenol, I think, tends to interact with some things a bit more. It's harder on the liver than ibuprofen and aspirin are, I think. So just a thought, I suppose.
Um,
Do you guys get triggered by having a cold or flu or COVID? Because I think I've had a chronic seizure that, it kind of felt like it built up from shivering that I thought was just the flu, but it just kept shivering harder and harder and harder until everything was shivering. Like when you
I
have
was
the
gonna
flu, your tongue doesn't shiver and lock up the same as your arms do, you know? That should have stood out to me.
cold and flu medicine. Um, some of them have Benadryl in it,
Oh,
and
yes.
that's a big no-no for epilepsy.
can someone tell me that I'm overreacting? I really need this advice. I'm 17 and I got diagnosed with non-epileptic seizures in April, and I'm getting an EEG this week because I pushed for it. All of my doctors seem to think I'm just being hysterical, and for some reasons, I've convinced myself I have something severely wrong with my brain, like brain damage, tumor deflect. I don't even know. It's just because since seizures started happening last year, they've gotten so bad so quickly, like 3 between October and December, with like quick recovery. And now it's every day with hours that I'm lost after. And ever since then, everything's been a little off, like coordination issues, balance issues, speech just struggling a lot more, forgetting words and tripping over words, except it's a lot more often now. Struggling with focus and suddenly getting twitches. Mainly just like smiling and then suddenly twitching. So basically, muscle spasms go to the muscles you use to smile. I'd probably be less reactive about this if someone had actually told me what to do about the NES. I can't do CBT for personal reasons, but now I've literally been treated like I'm being a difficult and dumber teenager. I'm rational and all that, so I can tell myself it's not true, but I'm scared and need someone literally to tell me that it's in my head and it's not epilepsy or brain tumor because I'm just panicking about sudden onset and everything getting horrifically bad. What do you tell a child that's going through this?
Don't freak out about test results before you get test results. It won't do anything.
Right. And
That's
don't
something
use
that
GPT because it'll scare you.
I'm sorry.
I said, yeah, and don't use Chat GPT because it'll scare you.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, well, that should be a given. I don't know.
Yeah, the person's 17. They're probably using Chat GPT for everything.
That didn't sound like Chat GPT to me. I don't know. Maybe I'm not good at, but
Oh, no,
that
I was just
sounded like
saying
an
children
actual
in general.
17-year-old. Yeah. I would believe it's a 17-year-old. I don't think that the 17-year-old used Chat GPT to write that
Oh,
post.
yeah.
I mean,
But did I hear right when they were saying that they got a PNES diagnosis?
No, NES.
Non-epileptic seizure.
Yeah.
Okay, so if one doctor had made a non-epileptic diagnosis, they're 17, that's the prime demographic to write off as this is a one-time thing, it won't happen again, best of luck. So I think this is somebody who sounds like they're just not being attended to. Definitely would suggest that second opinion. Trust your body, you know better. I mean, again, it's one of those horrible cases that, or could be that where this situation can get diagnosed sooner and on the right treatment path, especially when somebody's brain isn't developing. I mean, this shit changes. It doesn't get easier, especially when you're not on the right thing.
I'm not very much educated with this at all. I have a new onset as well, but what I will say is doctors will make you feel crazy. And even if you feel like you're exaggerating, but are at your best advocate, but you are your best advocate and never stop until you feel you've done what you can. Someone else said, if you're worried about brain tumors and such, have you had an MRI? They have gone hand in hand for me. Another one says, do research on focals. Non-epileptic seizures and epilepsy can happen at the same time or consecutively. If you're having focals, they may not show up on an EEG. I was diagnosed with non-epileptic seizures at age 16. When I was 32, I finally got my official diagnosis. They missed my brain growth multiple times, and it's a birth defect. You are the expert of your own body. If something feels off, then fight for it. It might be a long fight. I'm sorry. I have nothing else comforting to say. That was a good one. I'm basically telling them, I understand you.
Oh yeah, plus when they get the wrong diagnosis on their chart, it's so much harder to get rid of it. It sounds like what Liz just said in the chat, that she hates to see when teens are written off as being problematic just for their age when they could have serious medical issues going on. That's definitely a contributing factor. Any wrong diagnosis, it's so much easier for some reason not to even get a referral. Sometimes you'll have a problem getting a referral to another professional from that that first diagnosing physician, because they'll say, no, I already solved this problem, I told you what's up, and just go back to your primary care if you really want to talk to somebody else. They don't give you a referral for some reason.
Yeah, exactly. Like psychogenic can just take you off the whole wrong loop away from, and will take you probably a decade to get treatment right.
Yeah. Yeah, even being your age, you got to advocate for yourself.
Mhm.
Um, Someone said, "Is my epilepsy and medication the reason why I've gotten incredibly stupid? I can barely form a full coherent sentence. I make mistakes constantly while typing. My brain and motor functions are seemingly always misaligned. I feel like I cannot learn anything new anymore. I simply cannot process and store new information for long-term use. Is it my epilepsy and medication? Is it the combination of the affirmation things combined with my long-term untreated depression? I'm just tired of being perceived as a moron by people that don't know what I suffered. Well, I'm tired of feeling like a moron myself. I used to be relatively intelligent. People would sometimes tell me how intelligent I seem based on how I spoke. That simply doesn't happen anymore. I am now always the dumbest person in the room, any room. I just say you got to keep your head up. Don't feel like that. Yeah,
Yeah,
it'll mess with your what is it, retaining information, which can be horrible just to be trying to have a conversation and you had read something you want to tell somebody and you can't remember it. I know that feeling. Um, don't stress yourself out about it. I mean, I hate hearing that from certain people, but yeah, uh, it's just something that comes with it. It's bad memory and it comes with the pills. We can't avoid it. I think the pills mess with us more than the seizures. I mean, memory wise. Um, but that's just personal.
think
Well,
Um,
it's
real quick, thank you to Liz for coming. Feel free to come back anytime. We're here Tuesdays and Fridays, and whether you listen or speak or chat, all contributions appreciated.
yeah, I think that memory and the pills affect all of us, and they're not the only ones. And telling yourself that only leads to depression. And the worse depression gets, you know, it leads to other darker places.
Mark, you have something?
Um, I'm sorry, what was the,
The person was thinking it's their medication and making them incredibly stupid. Um, they feel like the dumbest person in the room, basically not being able to retain information, which I can understand. I go through that. It's hard to learn new things. It's hard for me to learn new things unless it's like physical learning, like touching and doing things. But learning from looking at something and doing it, not always going to remember that, or reading directions. I'm
yeah,
pretty good at learning things when I do it. Put something together and remember how to put it together. But if I read how to put it together, I'm not going to remember enough to tell someone how to put something together because I read it.
I started noticing things getting a bit more challenging, a bit more difficult. Before I started taking the anti-epilepsy drugs. So I know that they both have an effect. They're both part of it. Um, to what extent each one is contributing is something that I am not 100% on. I would probably lean more towards the anti-epilepsy drugs causing more of the trouble than the seizures themselves, but that's for me and so far. So that could potentially change with one massive, status epilepticus that I never really fully recover my same, cognitive ability, the same level. It could make it difficult to, you know, or make it more difficult, let's say, to read, large bits of text. So I would have to say the anti-epilepsy drugs are a bigger contributor. But again, for me, um, but I would also urge the person um, not to tie their ego and their sense of self-worth to their cognition. You don't have to be um, the smartest person in the room to be the happiest person in the room. And I would much rather be the happiest person in the room. So, and that's a more realistic goal to work for, I think. Um, to be happy, you can actually improve that yourself. Um, yeah, that's my 2 cents, I think.
I like your 2 cents.
Thank you.
I go through one of these comments. It says, I graduated college with honors. I was attempting my master's, but the meds were already making me so stupid. I had never got lower than a B in my life, and I basically flunked out of grad school. I am not that person anymore, and it hurts. I honestly don't know what to do or what my fiance sees in me most days. I miss the smart me. Someone else says, my neuro refuses to admit seizures are the cause of my memory issues. That sucks. Someone said, I just got diagnosed, and honestly, I can partially relate to this. This is my worst nightmare because I've grown up as the gifted child. So having to change the perspective on my personality and capacities at 21 is difficult, to say the least. What you're living with is heartbreaking, truly. Can I ask what kind of seizures you're experiencing and how your cognitive abilities change after your medication? I have focal aware seizures and occasionally myoclonic. I don't know what to expect when they're going to prescribe me meds. I have noticed my memory and language deterioration, but what if meds make it even worse? I don't know. That sounds so scary. Another one says, welcome to the
I mean,
club. Go
that
ahead.
person, they're saying that they have to, like, I don't know, it sounded kind of like this big dramatic reshifting of an entire life plan that was all laid out. And I mean, sure, that might be what they had in mind, but they said they're 21. I mean, you're just starting out at life. Um, that's not something to, you still have plenty of time to plan an entire full life. Um, you don't have to give up on anything. You just need to now take epilepsy into account. Life threw you, I don't know. Damn it, I was trying to think up some like gambling term, but I don't gamble. Some like card term or poker. I don't know. You just need to completely, or not completely. You need to, um, integrate epilepsy into your full life plan, you know. Um, yeah, at 21, that's not, I, I don't know. I lost where I was going with that, but
Yeah, I said 21. You got a lot of time ahead of you.
yeah, it's
I heard one of these comments again. It says, "Welcome to the club, buddy. You want some of my crayons? The red ones taste like fruit punch flavor. The blue one smells like cotton candy. Though I feel it sincerely, it really seems like only certain things stick anymore. I got shit memory, shit for attention span, and possibly shit for brains. But I feel, therefore, I'm alive. So I can find something to enjoy. Forget I ever did it. Enjoy it like new once again. Means I can enjoy some of my favorite anime more often." That person responded, "I've been having so much fun rewatching shows and movies I haven't seen in 2+ years. I lost my job because I lost my job because of my epilepsy. All I have is time, so I'm rediscovering all my favorite shows and movies like I've never seen them before." I've been there. Like when new seasons come out of shows, I go back to the last season and watch the last season so I can remember because it's been the break in between them.
yeah, I just rewatched the first Men in Black movie for the first time for the third time again.
I know what you mean. It feels like I'm seeing new parts every time. Like, I don't remember this. I don't remember this part. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm. Got something here. It says sunflower syndrome. I just learned about something called sunflower syndrome, and I'm honestly shaken. My kid is autistic and nonverbal, and for years we've seen him spin toys, wave his hands in front of his face toward light, stare at ceiling fans, get totally zoned out. I always thought it was just stimming, but now I'm learning it might actually be myoclonic seizures, like real seizure activity. I had no idea what was happening to him was myoclonia. I feel awful. No one ever told me seizures could look like this. He might have been having them for years and we had no clue. He spins his monkey noodle in front of the window or a fan and just disappears into it like he's stuck. Sometimes he gets irritable after or lashes out randomly. It's starting to make so much sense. We don't have a diagnosis yet, but he's been rushed through referrals now. I'm trying to not spiral, but honestly, I feel like I failed him. We've already started dimming the house, avoiding bright lights, covering windows, switching bulbs. He still has the noodle, but we're working on slowly weaning him off of it. If anyone else has any experience with sunflower syndrome or thinks their kid might have it, please reach out. This is terrifying and lonely, and I just want to do right by him. Has anyone heard of sunflower syndrome? I have not.
I have not heard of it, but I looked it up. It involves It's a rare, poorly understood form of photosensitive epilepsy characterized by self-induced seizures triggered by bright light, particularly sunlight, and often involves repetitive hand waving in front of the face. The condition primarily affects young individuals, onset often occurring in childhood. So yeah, it's
So is it something particular to autism? Or like,
it
or
seems like a myoclonic. It's like photosensitive seizure, but more with the myoclonic jerk, probably trying to probably block the light or something. From
yeah,
what
but she
I'm,
said her son is autistic. Does it say if it's autistic kids who tend to do this, or is it just that her child happens to be autistic?
I think she was. Yeah, it was actually the first paragraph. It says just learned about something called sunflower syndrome, and I'm honestly shaken. My kid is autistic and nonverbal, and for years we've seen him spin toys, wave his hands in front of his face, toward lights, stare at ceiling fans, and totally get zoned out. I always thought it was just stimming. I don't know exactly what stimming is, but I think she was trying to put a correlation in between epilepsy and um, autism. I mean, it's sunflower syndrome and autism. Um, I'm not sure if it's any connection.
maybe her kid already has autism, but she didn't know that he might have had also had epilepsy because he was nonverbal, and they didn't look for that probably, but it looks like from what she's describing is sunflower syndrome from what I'm reading online. But I have no experience with actual sunflowers.
Yeah, I think we did have someone who came once upon a time and said that. Um, yeah,
It is a type of photosensitive epilepsy, and that's rare among epilepsy, being photosensitive.
yeah. I heard it's like 1% of us are photosensitive. Um, Mark, you got something?
Yeah, that's rare among
What?
photosensitive.
I'm sorry, what?
Oh, I thought you had something.
Oh, I'm just reading more about the trying to find anything about the sunflower syndrome. Nothing specifically. Childhood onset.
Think of Gizmo saying bright light, bright light.
But I could find they had a picture of a kid and they just put glasses on their kid. I mean, sunglasses.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it looks like a lot of these case studies, none of them say anything about it being um autistic children specifically that wave their hands in front of their faces to do it. So the fact that her son was nonverbal might be just an added complication on top of it, making her case that much more difficult. Like, how do you go about behavioral modification therapy to try to get a child to stop waving their hand if they're autistic and nonverbal. You know, if it was a neurotypical child, that would be one thing, you know, but I don't think I really have anything helpful to add for this person.
Yeah. I think you gave it your all. And that'll help something what you said. It helped me understand a little more. So we got another one here. It says feeling guilty over this fucked up condition. So the last few days I have been especially twitchy and have had a lot of auras. When I feel like this, I absolutely have to be so careful with myself. I need a lot much more sleep. I need as little stress as possible. I just can't do much. And of course, I have in-laws in town. It was the 4th of July yesterday, and I just feel so guilty when I have to stop plans and bail on plans or etc. It sucks so much. I feel like I'm overreacting or people think I'm lying or something. I hate it. And the guilt that's just either coming from me or from the people around me just makes me feel so much worse. I hate it and it makes me really sad. Thank you for listening to my rant, but I'm very open to advice. You can't feel guilty about epilepsy. There's nothing we can do about it. Don't let anyone make you feel bad about having it. Yeah, there's a lot I could say. Yeah, you're gonna get the guilty feeling. It's hard to tell people it's gonna be okay. That's not what people want to hear when something is wrong, but it'll take time. Things will get better.
Yeah, you'll get through it. Those guilty feelings happen to, I think, every single one of us, and beating up ourselves and burdens to everyone. They happen to all of us.
Yep, they do.
One of the comments here says, I'm sorry you're getting these auras and having to ditch family and stuff to take care of yourself, but I somewhat understand what you mean. However, for me, I'm always super tired all the time. I'm taking B6. However, I've had to cancel so many plans just to make sure I get enough sleep so I don't have a higher chance for seizures. It's definitely not something easy to deal with, but for the people that care about you, they truly will understand you and not think you're lying. Another comment says, I'm so sorry you're feeling guilty, but please take care of yourself. First and foremost, the people who love you, care, will understand, even if they feel disappointed at you. At times, let them feel their feelings. You take care of you first, sending lots of love your way. Oh. Another one. It's so frustrating. My medicine makes me super physically ill every morning. At breakfast this morning, my sister scoffed at me for having to run to the restroom while we were at a restaurant and asked my friend why I couldn't just wait to get back to the hotel. I had to go inside while fireworks were going off and people were annoyed. I can't just go out for drinks, so I tend to not get involved. I tend to not get invited anywhere. I have a pretty strict sleep schedule because sleepiness is a trigger and I have narcolepsy. So that also irritates family. I'm sorry to hear that one.
Yeah, I can't imagine. Narcolepsy and I'm sorry. That's terrible.
Yeah, that
Uh,
just rant.
I don't think it was rant. Let me go back to it. Oh no, they just said they were open to advice, but it was a rant. But I got something different. Um, this one says, does anyone have trouble identifying their emotions? It's like I'm numb, going through life on autopilot. For instance, I can be depressed for a while, and I can recognize that I feel down. However, I don't realize I was depressed until later after I get better. I don't know. Is this weird? Hard identifying my emotions.
It's called alexithymia. Thymia. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it correctly, but um it's yeah, it's when a person has difficulty identifying, articulating, describing their own emotional state. Um, it's something that I actually experience and deal with to a certain degree. It can even, in some cases, it can extend even beyond emotional state to a person's own internal physical state, having trouble determining and differentiating the difference between their like physical, like I have trouble telling the difference between feeling hungry and feeling angry sometimes, a lot of times, and it doesn't necessarily automatically register that it's not an emotional thing. Um, there's just like there's positive, negative, and there's a dividing line between those, and I can tell, okay, I'm good, I'm bad. And beyond that, it takes conscious thought. I need to figure out, okay, I am bad. Why am I, what is this? Is this physical? No. Okay, so it's emotional. Like, why is it? What is it? You know, I can't necessarily tell the difference between um like angry and sad automatically way that I can describe to somebody um and I can't tell the difference between all of that and feeling hungry without a lot of focus and thinking about what is this, how is this um all related to the situation that I'm in right now. So um I forgot the scenario why I was talking about this, but
They said they feel numb. They have a hard time identifying
uh,
their their emotions, I
yes.
think.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Yeah, I guess maybe numb and trouble describing emotions were probably two different things there. And numbness might come from like a depression sort of feeling,
Yeah.
where you're just so low that everything all. Whereas if it's like an ongoing trait, independent of, regardless of any sort of clinical depression issues, then it's like a trait. It's even been discussed in psychology circles, debated to what degree it might even be a personality trait.
Also, a lot of our medications have that side effect too, of like the
The pro had it.
depersonalization, or I don't know. I mean, I don't know the right word because my words are all messed up now.
Derealization,
Yeah, yeah, right. It just,
depersonalization.
or
Yeah.
sort of a deadening of the sort of major emotions, or it can make you more emotional.
When I first got put on Lexapro, they put me on too high of a dosage with all the medication I was on. I was not feeling any emotions. Like I could tell somebody, like, look, I'm actually happy right now, but I don't know if I'm showing it.
Jocelyn, have you ever heard of sunflower syndrome?
I think so. Isn't that where you? Oh,
I can see you and hear
can,
you.
can you hear me? Okay. Isn't that where you have a seizure and then you take all your clothes off?
Oh no, I thought I remember you bringing up sunflower syndrome once upon a time. That's why I said
I'm
it.
sorry.
Um, that could just be a regular seizure.
Oh,
Yeah, I
oh,
mean, like I wander off sometimes. I don't know what I can do during that. I could pull my
oh,
pants down or anything.
oh no, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
It's all right.
I'm sorry.
You didn't do anything.
Okay. Because I've heard of. I'm sorry. I don't mean to take over. I'll stop.
Yeah, it's all right. Yeah, I did like her answer, Liz. But what we were on, it says having alexithymia can make it hard for you to express or identify your emotions. The condition alexithymia is a broad term to describe problems with feeling emotions. In fact, this Greek term for Freudian psychodynamic theories loosely translates to no words for emotions. While the condition is not well known, estimated 1 in 10 people has it. Um, that's a big percentage. I mean, maybe not. Yeah. Um,
So I guess sunflower syndrome is what characterized by self-induced seizures triggered by bright light, particularly sunlight, which often involves repetitive hand waving in front of your face.
It's when kids do this.
Yeah,
I don't
it's
yeah.
know,
it's kids
like
doing this, I guess.
Yeah. We went through a post like that earlier. Or a
Okay,
little
yeah,
before
I
that.
had never heard of it. That's why I went ahead and looked it up. I wanted to know what it was.
Um,
So I guess you'd have to first be photosensitive, and second, you'd have to be photosensitive specifically to like a frequency or stimulus that you can control, and then you would need to make whatever connection that reinforces that enough that, I mean, that I can see why that is so rare that it's hardly studied, and I can definitely see why it's little understood.
yeah, it's photosensitive seizures are rare amongst people with epilepsy, and
Yeah,
sunflower syndrome is rare amongst the photosensitive group. So yeah,
And they say it's often medication resistant and so forth. Yeah, that medication resistant epilepsy, I don't think they do enough like study. I don't know, but for sure.
I mean, once that label is slapped on them, they can't, there's nothing left to do, right? You just start chopping and burning out parts of, the brain. Or
here,
implants,
take
I
the pill.
guess, right?
Here's a blue pill. Here's a green pill.
Oh, you're only taking 14 at night and 5 in the morning? Let's add another one. Why?
Yeah,
It's not working
there,
now. Why are we going to add
there's a
another
round
one?
blue one
Right.
to take, and the oblong blue one is in the morning.
Exactly.
Jocelyn and Salem Mom specifically, because I think you guys weren't here. Can you guys tell the difference between an aura and a panic attack? Because I don't have auras, but I really want to know this question.
Well, I guess. I mean,
I think I can, because the panic attacks I had were like I was hyperventilating. And the auras I had were they weren't that. I was not hyperventilating. I was having like the stomach drop feeling, like going over a roller coaster, the weird deja vu feeling. So for me, they were very different. I wasn't panicking when I was having the aura. So for me, they were just extremely different. They were not similar at all.
So, I had panic attacks before I was diagnosed with epilepsy, or before anyone like saw me having a seizure as an adult. I'm pretty sure I did, but anyway. But yeah, that switch wasn't clicked where I was constantly and all that. Anyway, now it's a lot harder though, because sometimes I do get that panic attack feeling in my chest, and I sometimes wonder, is this going to turn into a big aura? Is this going to be a big one? But it could go on for hours, and so then I'm like, I don't know if this is a panic attack. I don't know if this is an aura, or if I'm just, I guess panic attack, freaking out because I'm worried I'm gonna have a seizure. Yeah, but sometimes that's why I worry about it though, is because sometimes when I have an aura, I get that panic attack heart thing, but I don't hyperventilate. But the ones that I had before I had epilepsy, or before I got diagnosed, were, like Jocelyn said, like hyperventilating and not being able to breathe either, as well as the chest thing. That was many years before.
See, but I've also recently heard that there's a difference between an anxiety attack and a panic attack.
Oh, so yeah, maybe that's
Well, no. So what I'm wondering is, if for me, maybe the hyperventilating was an anxiety attack, and maybe I don't know what a panic attack is. I don't know.
or I
Maybe I'm
might
thinking
have them
too much into
switched
this.
too. I'm not sure. I never.
See, I don't know. Because I
What
also had
would be
these
the
two.
difference, though? I mean,
So I think Mark probably knows the difference more than
Oh,
me.
yeah, please go ahead.
Mark. What you know?
no, I'm wondering. I've always thought that, or just called it anxiety attack or panic attack based on like a degree of intensity. And
Mm.
it just kind of seemed like a diffuse dividing line between two basically equivalent terms. I don't know if you found something that says that they're separate. I would like to know.
I should ask or look it up.
Yeah.
I should actually look this up.
So, panic attacks and anxiety attacks, while sharing similar symptoms, differ primarily in their onset, intensity, and triggers. Panic attacks typically come on suddenly and intensely, often without a clear trigger, while anxiety attacks tend to develop gradually in response to a stressor. Okay. So
Makes
there
a
you
lot of
go.
sense. Yeah.
Sometimes I'm having anxiety attacks, but I have had a panic attack in the past that came on really fast. Yeah, okay. And then it says panic attacks can also involve more severe physical symptoms and a greater fear of losing control or dying compared to anxiety attacks. Okay, maybe I'm not. Maybe it is panic attacks. All right, anyway, it says onset. Panic attacks are abrupt and sudden, often without warning. Intensity, intense and overwhelming, reaching peak within minutes. Triggers may occur without a specific trigger or stressor. Duration, typically short-lived, lasting a few minutes to an hour. Not then, okay. Physical, rapid heart rate, shortness of breath, chest pain, dizziness, sweating, trembling, nausea, feeling faint, tingling, numbness, chills, hot flashes, fear of dying or losing control. And your psychology is intense fear, a sense of impending doom, and feeling detached from reality. And then an anxiety attack is gradual and builds over time. And it can vary in intensity, but is usually less intense than a panic attack and more prolonged. and it's usually a specific trigger or worry and can last hours or even days. Rapid heart rate again, shortness of breath, muscle tension, sweating, dizziness, nausea, and fatigue. Very hard to tell the difference between anxiety and a panic attack, apparently. But psychology is excessive worry, restlessness, irritability, difficulty concentrating, sleep disturbances.
Hmm.
No.
I still don't know what I had.
It
I was just
sounds like there's-
hyperventilating many, many times at work.
Yeah, there you go. Right.
Having out-of-body experiences at one time.
There you
Looking
go.
at myself down, having a phone call, not remembering what I said.
Anxiety.
Very strange time. Then I quit my job.
That doesn't sound like a very good, very good place for you to be.
Well, that's a lot of, unfortunately, it's a lot of CPA firms. And I'm much doing accounting firms. I'm much happier being self-employed.
Yeah, self-employed is always better.
No
You
kidding.
don't get fired.
Oh, I'm one of the fortunate people where I'm able to do it. I wish everyone could be self-employed. It's so much better.
Right, I'd definitely be working.
So if you're self-employed and you get a job at some big, like, other place somewhere, would that mean that you're getting fired from being self-employed?
No. I mean, no. I mean, like the other company, if you go get a job somewhere else, they might not want you to have your own business. They might require that you shut your business down. It all depends. They
But if
wouldn't
you
want
have
you
the
to
work,
compete with them.
the capacity for the workload, I guess,
Yeah,
right? You
yeah.
could
Well,
continue
they also might want you not like
a
in the same
side
business.
hustle.
Yeah, side hustle. They might not want you to compete with them if you're in the same business. They might like at this this one accounting firm I worked at, this one guy, he really liked working at a place serving at a teriyaki place. He just really liked it. And it really pissed me off that they said you need to quit that job. They don't have control over his spare time. It pissed me off.
I think they can do that. Can
No, I think like I'm not an attorney, but I don't think that's legal at all. And they were like really urging him to quit his side gig.
So
Pissed me off.
I've done HR gigs and like training and I mean all of it. And
I mean, they didn't explicitly tell him, but they were like
right.
strongly encouraging him, like, oh, why don't you quit that place? Because they want at accounting firms where you do taxes and you have busy season, they want you to work like 12 hours a day, 6 days a week. And your salary, you don't get paid overtime. And it's like a side gig is going to get in the way of that.
Right. I understand, but that's
It's a
not
bunch of
nice.
BS.
It's not nice, and I guess it would depend on the state, but I'm not sure it's legal to technically tell them to. If they were just encouraging him, I don't know.
Yeah, no,
But still, that's not nice. Not nice.
No. Well, I don't think that companies care what's nice. They just want money.
Sure. Well, I don't know. The last place I
I'm
worked
not
was pretty
jaded, am
nice.
I? No.
Quite all right. I worked for big corporations before. I know they can be pretty not nice.
No, they just want money. Yeah. Oh, sorry, I'm not jaded. I didn't quit and go start my own business. Yeah.
Sailor Mom, you missed my mom came.
And my dad.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Your mom's dead.
I know. Well, yeah. Everybody
The hero.
here was.
I believe Raven's partner came also.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. I wish I could get somebody to come here.
And since you said that,
Just brought Liz.
I got something that goes with something what Jocelyn said. I mean, she could relate or maybe not relate. Let's see. says working while having epilepsy. Are there any rules or regulations that a company or employer should understand your situation if you have epilepsy? I know it's my fault that I have been calling a lot, but it's normal to feel burned out and have grand mal seizures. But they have told me if I called in again, they will fire me. And I have been having fatigue and vertigo the past few days, and I am just scared to leave early and call in that day. Or what if I felt an aura from that day before and I have to work the next day and I'm scared to call in the next day? I work in a warehouse, standing all day, 10 a.m. to 7 p.m., no weekends, and carrying lifting boxes at least 45 pounds. I also experienced maybe like 15-second aura coming in, but the seizure didn't happen while packing from the warehouse. I've been looking for a job at an office or for an office job with this office position so I could at least work from home. Does anybody find working from home better? Jocelyn, you're the
I
only one
mean,
working from home.
yeah, I mean, I'm really fortunate that I work for myself and I work from home. I personally love working from home. I mean, I can't drive, and so it's awesome that I can work from home and not have to drive. Um, Today, I'm extremely tired and I just can't put in any more hours today. Now, I work for myself, so I can control that. So when you work for someone else, you're going to have to probably just push through, and that sucks. Now, I'm in the state of Washington, so I don't know what it's like in every state, but there are laws about, like, I'm not an attorney. I have to say that right now. I'm not an attorney, but there are laws about what size company there are as far as what laws they have to follow, about what laws they have to follow about how they have to treat you when you are sick. And in the state of Washington, I think it might be when you have 50 employees and above, then you have to follow certain rules and laws that are more beneficial to the employee. So that's what I think that you might want to do is look up your state laws and rules about what size company you have to work for that are going to be laws that are more beneficial to you, the employee, because you do get sick. And I don't know much more about that because I'm new to this and I work for myself, and so I get to control the hours I work, and I can take a nap and then work later and work on the weekend. So I have been wondering how people are getting let go because they're sick. That sucks. I don't understand how companies can do that, especially companies like I've heard that some of you guys have been cashiers, and I don't know where you work, but like Target has more than 50 employees. How the F can they get away from doing that to someone? I do not understand that. To me, like, they must be having attorneys figure out how to get through all those effing laws that exist. So that pisses me off. I don't understand how that's legal.
Yeah, I was
So,
gonna say you might want to, yeah, like you said, check out the laws for yourself first in your state, and then you're gonna need to go to your HR department, and and also you're gonna need to go to your doctor, and you're gonna have your doctor write you a letter, and the letter is gonna say whatever you need him to say, that you have the seizures, that you have auras, that you need to recover, whatever it is. And also, I don't know, you really shouldn't be carrying big heavy boxes if you're having an aura. That is so scary. So that's why you're going to go to HR and you can explain to them that you're having auras, right? And that you could suddenly have a seizure and fall over and hit your head. And do they really want to pay that hospital bill? Do they
and that's going to
really
go on
want
their
to pay?
insurance.
It's going to go everywhere. They're going to have to pay workers' comp.
L
It's
and
going to be
I
serious, really serious if they fall and get hurt.
on company
Especially,
grounds, that's
right,
bad.
especially if they've been threatened when they said, that they had to come in or they were going to lose their job no matter what. That's where the limit is, right? How much do you care about like, and then you really probably ought to look into, a lawyer to just back you up. You gotta have the letter. You gotta definitely talk to HR and explain to them that something bad could happen if you come in when, you're not steady. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, go ahead.
And
What
I
you got,
know that
Jess?
attorneys are expensive, but right now there's ChatGPT. I call it ChatGibita. So there's ChatGibita, and you have to really watch out because ChatGPT is not correct in everything. So don't rely on ChatGPT for everything, but you can have it like look over a letter that you had someone else, So you can't rely on it for everything. But there are charitable organizations that can have attorneys, and there are schools that have attorneys that do things. So there are free attorney services out there, and so look for that first instead of going to AI. That's what I wanted to say about AI. Don't rely on it first. Have it help. If you're going to write the letter, you can have AI correct the letter. But I would look for the free attorney services first if you can't afford to hire an attorney.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say is, there's probably lots of other ways to get an attorney, whether you can hire one or not, but you definitely want to look into somehow to have somebody to back you up, just in case they try to pull something. Yeah.
Yeah.
ChatGibita. I have to use that. One of the comments here says, in Holland, they can't fire you for calling in sick too often. We also have a system here to help people with disabilities to find a job. It's a long story, but essentially employers get compensation and the person with a disability can make a bit of money next to receiving disability. I am on disability and I work part-time, and because I have a decent income. Another person says, the ADA can protect your job, but only if your employer knows you have epilepsy and you've asked for accommodations. If you haven't done that yet, it's really important to do it soon. You can ask for more flexible schedule or talk to HR about getting some extra time off each month. If you need it to recover, you can let them know it's okay if the time is unpaid or just not counted against you. The main thing is making sure they are aware your condition and that you've asked for support. That's what puts the ADA protections in place. What Mark said earlier, I like that. What is reasonable accommodations? Does it depend on what you do?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what reasonable accommodations in the context of the ADA means. I think it's probably something that comes, on a case by case basis, depending on the lawyers.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But like I said, first thing you want to do, you want that letter from your doctor that gives you all that backup about, this is your condition, this are the things that can happen, these are the reasons you would call in, and then also maybe warning that if they don't do that, you can get hurt, and they don't want that.
I got something else here. It says, what do I have to do to defend my epilepsy to people in the medical field? I can't be the only one that deals with this. I was diagnosed almost a year ago with TLE after struggling with seizures for many years. I've been taking Topamax since then, and it totally changed my life. Everything is great. I have had one seizure since, and it was during an extremely high stress moment. I went to my neurologist today for a routine prescription refill, checkup, and met with my doctor's nurse practitioner. She asked me about my migraines. I told her that I don't have migraines, I have seizures. She asked me about my recent seizure, and I thought that was a seizure and why I thought that was a seizure. I described the whole event to her, Aura, overwhelming deja vu, feeling of fear and dread, feeling like I'm gonna pee my pants, disassociation, inability to interact, but mostly aware, loss of time afterwards, exhaustion. Then she said, "Yep, I guess that's what it was." She asked if I wanted to up my dose and got confused about my current dose. Thanks, Topamax Brain Fog. And she got annoyed with me. And then that I probably shouldn't increase it if my brain fog is that bad. I don't understand why. In the same neurologist office that I was diagnosed in, I have to prove my epilepsy and feel ashamed for my symptoms because of my medication. Sorry to rant, but I would love to hear ways to go about this. I don't want to go about this angry, but I could. Um, I heard from Anne. She said you don't go in there angry when you want people to listen. She's been going through this for decades. Anne can tell you best. She said she had to stop going in so strong with it, and you know, yeah, not be angry when you go in there. She said that's a good thing to do.
Maybe stroke some egos a little bit, even.
A little bit.
Does it help to bring someone in with you?
Oh yeah, someone's told me that. Bring someone with you.
Yeah. I mean, when I physically, 9 out of 10 appointments are telehealth, but the 1 or 2 that we've gone to the hospital to see him for, and my husband went with me. Yeah, because I mean, right?
And there's a
You got-
witness.
yeah, right? You got somebody else, and also they can say what happened, during your seizures, or if you've got brain fog or memory problems or whatever. And I like the idea of having, I needed to know that somebody else was there to witness.
Yeah.
Back you up.
And memory.
And the memory, exactly. Like I always bring notebooks and questions, lots of written questions, all that stuff, but they're the ones that probably remember your seizures when you don't. So that was my thought for sure. Also, he had to drive me. Sure, I'm getting into San Francisco without. No, not anymore.
Anybody here autistic? Just found out about 30% of people with epilepsy have autism and vice versa. I have long suspected I'm on the spectrum and just want to get some perspective.
I don't know about those numbers, but I am autistic. So I don't know. Hold on. So if
When were you diagnosed?
30% of people with epilepsy are autistic and vice versa, and 1% of the population is epileptic. I don't know. It doesn't
right.
seem like those numbers work out quite right.
Right.
I'm not sure.
I
But
see what you mean.
I have read that 30 people or 30% of people with autism are also diagnosed with epilepsy. I
But
think
not vice versa.
now I'm not sure if I'm getting that mixed up, but I don't know if the vice versa part works out. I don't know.
Sailor Mom said, when were you diagnosed?
When did they
Jane?
diagnose? Yeah, you, Mark.
December 2024.
So not as a
Wait,
child.
no, not
Right.
23. 2024 was the year of epilepsy. But that was just when the doctors put it in my medical chart. I've been having seizures since, I don't know, the first MRI that I had to look for seizures was taken when I was 15. And I just turned 39. So it's been a long time.
Post seizure denial. My question is, does anyone ever have a seizure and come out of it and go into denial and told they did, in fact, just have one? Earlier this week, my mother dragged it out of me, dragged me out to get lunch with her. I was already in a cluster, 3 to 4 TCs the previous 72 hours, plus focal after focal, all day, every day. In the middle of our meal, I had a seizure. This time, it went for 5 minutes and required my midazolam. My mother had never needed to administer it in the past, and she explained the experience to me. It certainly traumatized her, and I feel terrible for that. According to her, within 5 seconds of administering the midazolam, I came out of it, borderline Pulp Fiction style. Then just continued eating my meal with zero recollection. While incredibly loopy, she had to convince me that I had a seizure by telling me to look at the blood on my shirt because I refused to believe it. Seconds later, EMT showed up, and I could not process that I had a seizure, regardless of all the evidence. So somehow, in my confusion, I refused to go to the hospital. Then, according to her, finished my meal as though nothing ever happened. It wasn't until the following night that I was willing to even consider the possibility of having one after reminded endlessly as I was in denial. My bit tongue, bloody shirt, and soreness eventually made it clear. But when I was first told, I borderline got into an argument with my mother saying there was absolutely no way that it happened, and I was furious that she called 911. I was in complete denial.
Yeah,
Huh.
I've been told, or I've been, or I have argued when I've been told that I just had a seizure. Um, like, no, I didn't. Um, but one thought is that the rescue med might be causing part of that. I think it's pronounced midazolam. Um, and I think that that is the generic name for the benzodiazepine that is in the Nasolam spray.
Yep.
So, um, that, yeah, that can cause, I think that's probably the cause of a lot of the memory issues, behind, uh, not remembering anything about it the day after. Um, that makes perfect sense. From the rescue med alone, even if there was no seizure, if you just popped it, it would still probably, you wouldn't remember the evening, probably just go have a really deep nap.
Well, and what I wanted to say is that, so I have not had very many seizures where I pass out. And the last one I had, I was already laying down, and when it was over, I had no idea it had happened, right? And I took a nap. And I mean, I live alone, so no, I mean, it took me a really, so I was in zero pain afterwards. I didn't urinate on myself. I didn't poo my pants. I didn't bite my tongue. And it took me like a couple of days to piece together that I had had a seizure. And so I don't know, I was just kind of thinking like if you're a really stubborn person, like I could kind of really see how you would like argue with someone. I could totally see how that could happen. 'Cause like I'm not a stubborn person, but Like, I'm kind of surprised I pieced it together. And I've got cameras in my house, and so I don't even remember. Like, you're out of it. I don't even remember how I kind of figured it out. And then I've got cameras in my house, and I found a video clip, not of me, but of me like making noise, like asking for help. I don't remember it, but of me just like the audio of me asking for help. And then I found another video, and you could hear me in the chair wiggling. Like, so I could totally see how if someone's a stubborn person, they would totally argue. That was my point.
I have argued a lot. The very first time I argued with the paramedics and I told them, "No, I can't go with you guys and I didn't have a seizure and I have to work tomorrow." And I tried to roll over and go back to sleep. They were like, "No, you have to come." Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah,
I'll still argue with my husband now. Always.
I think we are a bunch of big deniers when we're actually having our seizure.
Well, and can't personalities change too when you're in that post-ictal state?
Oh, yeah. He
Yeah.
told me he hates seizure me because
Yeah.
I'll act like a toddler. I won't let him put the pills in my mouth. I will fight him. Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go. So not even a stubborn person, just anyone can just become a different personality and argue. There you go.
Yeah, like I was told that I just like walked out the store and just started urinating like as soon as I walked out of the door. I didn't believe that story, but then another family member told that, "Oh, you told me that story like 10 years ago." I was like, I don't even remember I don't even remember hearing the story or everything, but from a
You
few
know, because
people,
your brain's restarting.
yeah, I put a few stories together from a few different people and come to find out I had a seizure in the store. In my postictal phase, I was leaving the store and he said as soon as I like got out the door, I acted like I was entered the bathroom. I just dropped my pants to the floor and I started peeing. But by that time the cops were already there. And
Oh
he said
no.
luckily he was able to tell them that, he's having a seizure.
Oh, good.
He doesn't know what he's doing.
He's not a drug addict or a weirdo, honestly.
Yeah, he just kind of pushed me out of the walkway because Target, when you walk out, it's just open.
Oh,
Yeah, so he pushed me like towards the bushes, and the cops were just sitting there like cops holding their belts, and they were letting me finish strong.
oh my God.
Well, that was very kind of them. My
It
goodness.
was.
Our anti-drug addicts.
Oh my
Right,
God.
and then he told me, "You just pulled your pants up and just walked away, like nothing ever happened. Like the cops weren't standing there, none of that. You just pulled your pants up, like, oh, all right, I'm done, you guys."
Oh gosh.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I've been in denial a lot. I'd be like, I don't feel the signs, and
Because
I
if you
think
don't hurt,
I think the doctor's been in denial too because I had the postictal headache one time, and I went to the doctor, and they're like, "You don't remember a seizure. You didn't bite your tongue. We did an MRI, CAT scan, all that. You don't have the concussion. There's no signs that you had a seizure." And I was just like, I just have this headache, and I know this headache, and it's one of a kind. There's nothing in the world like it. But I guess they were in denial that time, and you didn't have a seizure. You're all right. Send me home. And
oh
I didn't
yeah.
feel good for a whole 24 hours, and then came back on Friday and did it. Had the same headache all day, but I made it through the day. I think you guys remember that.
Yeah, we remember it.
You were
You
like,
know your own body, Pookie.
yeah, they were like, if you don't want to come, it's okay. I was like, nope, we're doing this. Gotta commit.
You know your own body. You know what it was.
Kate, you ever been in denial?
Did I deny that I maybe had a seizure like 20 minutes ago?
Yeah.
Ah, shit. What happened?
Yeah. Wow. So that's what had happened. I thought maybe
Was I
you.
still talking?
No, you just left.
No,
Oh shit.
we thought
Okay.
you logged off. I think you said you had to go take a shower.
Now I remember giving him the bath. I remember chatting or putting in the chat bath time, and I did that. But then daughter said she logged me off the meeting, and when she talked to me, I think she said that I acted like I didn't hear her. So I was still going on about the nighttime routine, and I don't remember any of that. So usually I can remember within like 10 minutes of it happening, but tonight I don't. So I don't know. Long day.
You in denial? Or you just gave it already like I had it? It's all right.
I guess I've had one, but
Still trying to put the pieces
I have
together.
to, yeah, I guess I just have to believe what she says and get over it. So I'm back to listen.
All right. Something here I believe we can all relate to. Wetting yourself during seizures. I'm pretty new to having epilepsy, only having 2 seizures till now, but both times I wet myself. One I had at home, and for the other, an ambulance was called, so both times I had no big problem regarding changing my clothes afterwards, but I was wondering how people manage this problem. Oh. Do you keep a change of clothes with you at all times? I can manage the embarrassment in the moment because it's a medical emergency, but I imagine to go home afterwards while still having visibly urinated on myself seems unbearable to me. Been there. I've took those same pants to the hospital and got picked up by family later in those same pants and never took them off. Just went wet and stayed wet and they dried and got a ride home. Then I thought, did I pee in these pants? Then I had to take them off and smell them like, oh yeah, I forgot. That was what happened during the seizure. Yeah, so that was my wetting myself story. How about you guys?
I think I did. Because they gave me pants at the hospital during like a, like, I don't know, cluster status, something. I have a vague recollection of it, and I still have the pants, the hospital pants. So.
I have like 3 pairs and 3 gowns.
Yeah. Yeah, it's happened, and how did I manage it before? Well, I'm not usually out by myself anymore, so. Thankfully it's only happened at the hospital or at home. I'm sorry, I don't have any good. But I would, I guess, if you're worried about it, carry a backpack, take an extra pair of clothes with you if you're concerned. Yeah, I guess it just depends on what your, routine is like. Anybody else?
Personally, never visibly. So, I guess I'm fortunate in that regard. Um, I don't know, an old office chair that I had and started to pick up an odor after a while, and I carried a spray bottle of Febreze in a backpack that I had. But that was years before I was having seizures too, so I had no idea what was going on. Yeah, that was not something I was expecting to share on this Zoom call. Um, but yeah,
I think what Liz is saying sounds relatable. Go ahead, Angel.
I never wet myself during a seizure that I know of, but
Lucky
most of them
you.
been unaware. So, um, but I know when I used to leave work and stuff, a lot of people would go straight to the gym afterwards. so they carry gym bags anyway. So yeah, put an extra pair in there. You're
I think
mute,
that's what I
Sarah.
would do. Yeah, I was just sitting here thinking what I would do if I started, because I haven't yet. I currently am at home a lot, and I've only pooped my pants and I was at home. So if I did leave the house and worry about that, I would bring a change of clothes with me at all times. I'd bring a backpack.
Mm-hmm. Thank God that only happened to me once. And horrifyingly, I was all alone. And I had to, once I recovered and everything, nobody was here with me. So I had to clean the carpet and stuff and try to, fix everything. I did not tell anybody about that.
Yeah.
But
I'm
we're
in
the
general
first
an
ones
open book.
hearing
I'll
that
tell you
story.
guys everything.
What's that? What's that, Pookie?
I said, so we're the first ones hearing this story?
Yeah. Y'all and the dog and the cats knew because they were here.
Hey, Jason, how you doing?
I'm doing good. So I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I just got off Uber Eats. Hey, Sarah Mom.
Yeah, I forgot. Oh, how do you handle situations where you just wake up wet? This person said they're new to epilepsy and they need to know, how do they go about it? Do they keep clothes with them at all time? I don't, and I think I've always just been sent to the hospital wet. I have no idea why, but yeah, I get sent to the hospital and I'm wet. I never chose like, oh, let's go to the hospital and let me change my clothes first. No, I'm usually on my way to the hospital and I'm like, am I wet? And yeah, then I'm like, oh fuck. Sitting here soaked and nobody was gonna tell me.
Or nobody even noticed,
Oh yeah. I've had the time where no one noticed. I remember that. Now that you say that, no one noticed I was wet, and then I'm in the ambulance, and we're getting closer to it, and I told him, "Did I pee on myself?" And he's like, "I don't know. Are you wet?" And I'm like, yeah." I was like, "I don't know if it's pee because I'm strapped down and I can't smell it." So then he phones it in. You guys, he peed on himself. So yeah. I forgot the word he used, but yeah, when he called in for my not symptoms, or basically what had happened afterwards, he had to tell them again. Also, you guys, he peed on himself. So yeah.
Sorry, a deer just literally walked like 5 feet away from me. Oh, shoot, there goes one of her babies. Where's your other one, I bet? Oh, they're both, holy cow, they're staring at me. Hi, guys. Okay. Hi. Okay, that's creepy.
It's better than geese.
Okay, here's one. Oh, I don't think we've been through this, but it says, I only have seizures at night. No diagnosis yet. About a year ago, I started having seizures only at night. I don't remember any of them when I wake up. The only way I even know they're happening is because of things like biting my tongue or being told that I had a seizure, waking up extremely confused or finding blood on my pillow. The last time it happened, I bit my tongue so badly I was spitting blood. I've had several tests done, MRI, EEG, blood work, and everything has come back normal or negative. It's incredibly frustrating not having answers, especially when it feels like something serious is happening and I have no control over it or memory of it. Has anyone else experienced nocturnal seizures with normal test results? What helped you finally get a diagnosis if you did? I'm open to any advice, similar experiences, or even things that I should push for when I see my doctor. Thanks for reading, and what do you think?
Get it on video.
There you go. Get it on video.
Yeah. I wish Jeff was here because he has nocturnals
I was
often.
thinking that.
Yeah.
he could give us the perfect example. But yeah, I think you should tell the doctor, and if they're telling you you're not, get a second opinion. Yeah. Can I
Yeah.
say something else?
The same thing that the uh poster described is everything I think we all felt during nocturnals. For those of us, we can feel all of it just like a regular seizure.
I started with nocturnals, and yeah, so I understand. But I think, yeah, the camera is the best idea.
And one of the comments says, the only seizures I have were nocturnal. I've had 2 awake, but that was from missing doses of medication. Been having them for almost 20 years. I'm on Keppra, and as long as I take my medicine, I don't have any. Have had all tests, MRI, EEG, sleep studies, extended sleep studies, and all negative, and nothing found. They have never told me why I have them. I guess as long as medicine controls them, they don't have to figure it out, and I don't know why. I've also had breakthrough seizures, and they just increase my dose. Love the healthcare system. Another one says, for me, I've had multi grand mal seizures, tonic-clonic during the day and night, many over the years. 2 seizure meds, lacosamide and lamotrigine, took care of the daytime ones. Didn't actually have the night seizures until I took those 2. I kept waking up. My wife, she filmed what I did. I have no memory of them, and I am not awake while they happen. I hold my breath, kick my legs like a bike, and move my arms around for 5 minutes. I was prescribed Excopri, no memory of them. It took me a long time to get on the Excopri. Taking more milligrams took a 2-month titrate, but no seizures for 2 years. I did have 1 seizure recently, but hoping for 2 more years without. Another one says, my seizures are nocturnal. All normal testing. They could tell me the seizures were coming from, but not why. We started tracking my periods 5 years into the mess, and we relate my seizures with my hormonal level, causing catamenial seizures. We tested hormone levels, and they were below normal. So far, in the last 7 years, my hormone meds have worked the best in reducing seizure activity. Do you ever worry about intellectual decline? Since I've been having investigations for surgery, I picked up a few times that uncontrollable seizures can eventually cause intellectual decline. Does that scare you? I'm worried that one day I just won't be me anymore. I'm scared that if the surgery doesn't work, then all is lost. That I intellectual decline. I try to do things so I don't lose things. Like I feel like if I keep autocorrect on so much that I'll forget how to freaking spell words. So I took autocorrect off. So yeah, so sometimes you might see me spell a word mistakenly off or something, or I might have put a few more letters into the word because I'm also using my laptop and I type and then send and then like, oh, I didn't proofread that. And two E's on the word the, stuff like that. But yeah, I feel like if I just stay with autocorrect, there's gonna be big words that I just don't know how to spell. I can't forget some of those words, especially like Guatemala. Yeah, I gotta type that out. Guatemala. Can't just lose everything because I was always told to use it or lose it. So gotta use these brains or lose them. You know how it goes. Anyone?
Except for times like this, though, after she's saying I sat here not replying to her for 20 minutes. doesn't seem that concerned. I just had to start asking questions in the other room, like where the hell was I since 9:40 something? And yeah, at this point, I know when something happened, and I'm not allowed to deny it anymore. That I wouldn't start playing my crossword game right now. Things like that. I do have to admit when it's not the best time to go walking the dog now. But for the most part, use it or lose it does make sense.
Yeah. Um. Yeah, intellectual decline. Like I said, you just gotta use that brain or forget things that you're not using it for. I'm a physical learner, so I'm better at learning things hands-on. Then I don't forget it as easy. But if I read a book on how to do something, tomorrow I'm not gonna remember how to do that when we're looking for that book again.
Well, and I swear the medicine I'm on is causing a decline in my brain capacity too. I forget words
Likewise,
all the time.
yeah, I think it's the pills too, all the time. But yeah. One of the comments says, "Oh no, this is a different one." Oh, this is a new post. It says, "How often or rarely do you forget your meds?" This isn't really a rant. It's more of a rhetorical question because y'all don't forget. Shaking my head. For me, I miss 2 to 4 doses a month. LLS. It it makes no sense. I rarely forget that each morning, night, I look at those damn vibe killers in my hand and thinking, once in my hand, one of two things will happen. There's a drink in front of me and it's done and over with. Two, no drink around me. Then they go in a pocket while I go get a drink. Once they enter the damn pocket, I don't fucking know. I somehow forget all about them. Then 6 hours later, I feel them in my pocket, shaking my head. I know I should just take them then immediately, but sometimes I'm lazy. LLS, I just took a dose of my natural medication, so what I've said sounds right in my mind, but it may not make sense to others at all. Am I the only one that misses my medication or skips my alarm? No, I skip my alarm all the time. Press snooze and then snooze, 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 and it lets you snooze so much and you can't snooze anymore. And I forgot I pressed snooze. So then I'm wondering if I took my pills or not. Then I'm like, okay, let me just start turning my pill bottle upside down. That's how I remember.
I do mine as a reminder, and I take so many effing pills. So I do it as a reminder, and that's how I do it. I've never missed a dose, but I have been missing my nasal rinse that I have to do to cure. So I've missed a dose of the other medication.
Got something here. It says, how do you sleep? I'm a super heavy sleeper. I have 3 different alarm clocks at different places in my room and still often times sleep through them. Is this normal with epilepsy or is it unrelated? Uh, I think I'm pretty much light sleeper. Um, you guys? 'Cause I can wake up when someone flushes the toilet down the hall, so but I can easily go back to sleep in those times. I just sleep light, like something bothered me and I look over or something.
I had this weird insomnia when I had the active CSF leak. In general, I have been a fairly good, like a light sleeper, but I go back to sleep really easily. No, heavy sleeper, but I go back to sleep pretty easily. But have been a, I have nightmares and I talk in my sleep and I have night terrors. So if anyone is in the house with me sleeping, you're gonna hear things out of my room. and I'll yell like, ah! And I'll just be like, wake up the next day like, what happened?
So
I
you
do
can just
the
pass out right after that?
Sorry?
You can just go right back to sleep pretty easily after one of those?
I'm asleep when all that happens. Like
Oh,
sometimes I'll wake myself up, but I'll also be like, I'll laugh and wake myself up. And I'm like, oh, and then I wake up. Anyways, yeah.
okay. So with what you were saying, like the screaming part, I have that, but I'm also going to see a doctor about sleep paralysis because sometimes I just can't move and I can't say anything and I'm trying to move and I'm trying to say something. And once I finally get it out, it's a scream. I've been in bed with people and screamed and scared the shit out of them.
You know, how'd you find out you have that? Because I'll have dreams where that happens, but I don't know if I am like frozen for real because I'm asleep.
It happens too often, and then I just start noticing that, yeah, this is
In the
something.
dreams it happens?
No, I'm wide awake.
Oh no. Oh no, okay, that
It's
has
like in the
nothing to do
middle of
with
the night when
dreams.
I'm sleeping. I'll wake up sometimes when I hear something. Like I said, I'm a light sleeper. But yeah, like when I hear things and then I wake up and I can't move, that's the scary part. I'm
Oh
scared.
no, I'm not a light sleeper because like I'll wake myself up. No, I'm not a light sleeper at all.
Yeah,
Right now
me.
I am because healing from the L4 L5 surgery to get the thing out of there that they broke off.
Hmm,
Sorry, it doesn't need to be about me.
it's all right.
no, it makes sense. It helps us
The
understand, that's
lumbar
for sure.
drain broke. I'm just lucky. They said it
Yeah.
happens once or twice a year, so I'm just lucky. I should have bought. I was almost gonna buy lottery tickets to scratch off every day when I was in the hospital, but then my person who was coming in to help me got sick, and so she couldn't come in. She was gonna buy the lottery tickets, and so my plan failed. And then because
It's not all
I
about
would
the
have
scratch
gotten
off.
rich. You don't think about this. It happens once or I'm sorry I'm yelling, but it happens once or twice a year, and it happened to me. I was gonna get like 20 grand. I was only gonna do like the little scratch offs, but like 20 grand? Anyways, it's okay. It's okay. I'm sorry. I'm drier. I'm drier vaping.
Angel, you got something? I seen you unmute your mic.
Oh, I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh,
Okay.
I remember. Scoppers made me a heavy sleeper.
I wish I could heavy sleep. I have insomnia, so yeah, working with that. Can't
Hey,
hear you.
I don't know what's got
you
me
heard
staying
what
up
it's
all
doing
night
for
like twice a
Aaron?
week.
Say that
But
again, Angel.
okay.
Oh,
What'd you say, Angel?
I said you heard what it's doing for Ann. Ann sleeping 8 hours again.
yeah.
She's
What'd she
tired again.
change?
The Excopri. She's on the
Oh,
Excopri.
yeah. Oh, so that story was like literally about her. That was a good story that Toaster put up like yesterday, I think.
Yeah.
I love
Um,
when we can relate all the like demons to real life and what the inspiration is.
Sailor Mom, how do you sleep? Are you a heavy sleeper? No.
No, I don't. Well, I have a lot of trouble going to sleep. I had insomnia for many years before I started having seizures, at least, that anybody knew about. But yeah, well, when I heard that question, I thought about this morning. Joe walked by the bedroom and he went to see if I was awake, and it woke me up. just literally clicking his tongue. Yeah, no, I don't sleep very heavy, I don't think.
That must be a nightmare when the family's around.
Well, and my kids have been playing video games until like 3 in the morning sometimes, and then the other child, after one goes to bed, the other one will stay up until the sun rises, so I never know what's. Yeah, and the kitchen is about 5 feet from my bedroom door, and the bedroom door is always open. So yeah, and the bathroom door is directly across from our bedroom door. It's yeah.
So going like 8 hours without something to wake you up would literally be impossible.
No, yeah. I actually last night when I finally was getting ready to, I knew I was going to be able to sleep. I put actual earplugs in because I was like, I want to sleep more than 5 hours, and I did. So that was good. Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah, I'm glad other people get to sleep heavy though. It's nice.
I don't know, on those long nights when you wake up and it's already after 11 or something, and feel like I waste the day.
Well, yeah, I feel like I waste a day pretty much every day because so often it's 4 or 5 before I finally get to sleep. So, yeah.
And by the time it's 4, I'm, up just taking the morning dose, and sun is close enough to rising, so I might as well do that first walk. So then the hours start rolling by.
Sometimes that happens, yes.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Yeah, I've definitely done that.
That's what's happening like twice a week since I stopped taking the clobazam and Les Keppra.
Yeah.
And now that it's been 3 weeks, officially been through like that part of the cycle and everything, now I think it's pretty easy to say it's the meds. It's not just switching up the routine and doing this travel thing. So I think those meds were definitely ensuring the heavy sleeper thing.
Yeah. Are they, so since you've taken them down, obviously you had a small seizure a little bit ago, focal, right? You were still moving
Yeah,
around.
so it looks like it was 2 tonic-clonics so far this month, and that was actually the first complex partial that I wrote down.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, I still call that a success. I mean, if I can get to less than 5 seizures a month, I consider that successful.
Yeah, that's great. I was so excited to see Endless Caverns. I was like, that is not. I recognized 81 from the pictures before you even sent that one. I was like, it's 81. I know that's 81.
Yeah, right where we were stuck for a long time counting cows in the trailer next to us.
Oh, I'm sorry. At least it wasn't chickens. The valley is
There we
literally
go.
the home of poultry.
Your mic went
Okay.
off.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I just said, well, at least it wasn't chickens or turkeys because the valley is the home of every kind of poultry factory, every kind of poultry farm.
Yeah,
I did my time
love
at the poultry factory.
There you go. They're definitely everywhere too. I mean, we had a lot of fun today doing the visiting around thing, and there was geese like around every corner.
Yeah.
So that's back. But hey, no more storks and pelicans, so that's cool.
That's good.
Not gonna miss those. My dog saw like a what are those birds called? I think robins for the first time today, and she ditched the dogs in the dog park to go check out the robin on the other side of the fence.
Nice.
Love it.
That's awesome.
Oh,
We were
Sailor,
on
you.
to see Adrian. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, Sailor, you missed that. Kate found another person at the dog park with epilepsy.
Really? How awesome. That's
Totally
amazing.
random. Yeah, Cody has her service vest on. And I was describing to some other guy. I think he was just telling me about like real estate or so I don't remember what the conversation was, but I said epilepsy, and the kid that had just wandered in said, "Wait, did you just say seizures or did you say epilepsy?" And I, kind of nodded. I was talking to that other guy for a while, so I knew he wasn't that creepy. And this kid walked up and literally sounded amazed and said, "I have epilepsy." You know, he was in the meeting for a few minutes and then his family walked in and he said, okay, now that my father's here, tell him what you told me. And his dad genuinely had some questions and saying, okay, so that is a seizure. That's what he should tell the doctor. That's what he needs to do to get it on record. And everybody, I think, said, gave their piece about like why their favorite hospital is their favorite, you know, what happened to actually earn that title. And I think that family kind of put two and two together, that he definitely got all the links to, I think. Yeah, I just handed him my phone when I was texting links. Yeah, that's definitely not that area code. So he got the links to the podcast and the Reddit. I'm sure he'll be back.
Later, Liz.
That's awesome.
Hey.
Yeah.
Oh, now I know who you are. Yeah, that behind at work thing like caught me by surprise yesterday too. You don't let them tell you what to, you know, keep that realistic.
Oh, I work for myself, so
Oh shit, that's what you said last night too.
yeah, I run a little business where I prepare taxes for people, and there's a deadline, and I wasn't able to work for a really long time, and so, you know, I like my business. I like 95% of my clients, and so I'd like to get it all done, and I will, but September 15th is a big deadline for all the people I extended, and then October 15th is a bigger deadline, so I just had surgery, and I'm tired. I do have employees, but I'll get it all done.
Well, it sounds like you're good at what you do. So I'm proud of
Oh,
that.
thanks. I try. I'm just tired.
I got one that says, that's all it says. What has epilepsy taught you? What has having epilepsy taught you? That's a good one.
I can answer that. It's always to be humble and appreciate everything, because literally today could be your last, you know?
Yeah. What has it taught me? It taught me that be grateful for the little things. Um, yeah. People have it hard. But you got to be grateful for what you have, because it could be gone in a snap. Yeah,
Helped
you
me to
just
gain
have one
perspective.
seizure.
Your mom reminded us of that today.
Yeah, everything could change in the blink of an eye.
Helped me to gain perspective. You know, I think just what Pookie, what you were saying. Look, you know, everything could just be gone.
Yeah.
Just appreciate what you. Yeah, I mean, exactly what you're saying. I mean, I don't. Tomorrow might not come.
Something here says, what happens to you, an absence seizure specifically, when you forget to take your meds? I have them over and over and over again, and I was curious if that happens to anyone else, or you just have normal amount you used to have. There would be the normal amount. Oh, there would be days where I can't even count to 10 because I'm having so many. I'm been scared as hell and scared the hell out of other people before, but I have to know. Um, I have to know, what are your absence seizures like? I can't remember. I haven't been told.
Mines are pretty much staring, like it's a blank stare. You can tell, I say it many times, but the way it was described is you can look into my eyes and you can literally tell that no one's there, no one's home. But yeah, it's a blank stare.
Do you ever feel like your brain is vibrating? I feel faint and like my brain is vibrating. It's the weirdest experience. That this is usually when I get a combo of not eating properly, not sleeping properly, and not taking my medicine when I should. I know that sounds really bad. It's so interesting as much as it is scary. Does this happen to anyone else? I'm on medicine, so I don't end up having seizures, but I blame it on the epilepsy. I have absence seizures specifically. The brain vibrating, I understand where you're coming from. But the rest of that, it says, does this happen to anyone else? Yeah, it's happened to me. The vibrating. Anybody else got any answers for that person?
No, I haven't felt the brain vibrate, but I know too many absence seizures can open up. Basically, it gets your brain used to having seizures, and it'll open up for bigger ones. So the neural pathways, that's what it was.
So I definitely hum after the absence seizures, so, during and after. Just now I got up and, did one of those yoga poses where you have to balance, and I still have my balance. So a couple minutes later, I guess most of it comes back, but I definitely still feel the need to not talk as much because my words are not there. Words take longer to come back than physical capabilities. I'm sorry.
I think I have drug-resistant epilepsy for one type of my seizures, but terrified of brain surgery. Do I try CBD? I'm trying a new medication and this weird feelings completely stopped, but now I've been having them for the past few days. Now, after I've been tapering off Excopri, I am on Lamictal for tonic-clonic. I don't want to be on 3 meds. I'm so exhausted constantly. Does CBD actually work? I am so upset. I don't know what to do. The doctor says my weird feelings are seizures. I get them when I'm overtired, surrounded by too much white, or it's cloudy weather outside. I heard CBD works. Everybody's body isn't the same, so I mean, I've heard it work. If you're watching this, but I got to the comments. Since I've never tried the CBD, I've just always gone THC, and it definitely helps me and my seizures. And I had 3 brain surgeries in 2019, and just like you, I was terrified. It's scary, but if it means helping your disability, then it'll be worth it. Okay. For some people, it lowers seizure thresholds, and for others, it really helps. I smoke weed daily and haven't had problems specifically from that. And CBD alone, I'd imagine, is less risky. But I'm not a doctor, so don't quote me on that. Someone says if you have temporal lobe epilepsy specifically and drug resistant, you can talk to your neurologist about Unicure, AMT 260 phase, clinical trials. Like most drugs, it seemed to help me for a little while, but eventually the seizures came back. I personally ended up getting brain surgery. Feeling like I'm faking. I had what I initially thought was a cluster of seizures the other week that resulted in new and disturbing symptoms: a blackout, depersonalization, and large gaps in memory. I am much more like myself, but the experience lasted about a week, and I really don't want to go through that again. It seemed like things kept building and building. I've been told by my specialist that I may have just been hyper aware of what are normal symptoms, and I'm unsure how to feel about this. I feel like I must somehow be faking things. Any thoughts? I feel like someone said this before.
So what are they questioning? What they're hearing again?
Oh, they feel like they're faking it, or yeah. Person feels like they're faking it. I'd have to go through it all again to.
Okay, no. I heard all that about big gaps in memory, and that is exactly how it feels. If it wasn't for looking at my phone and noticing a text message, at 9:12 from daughter, then I wouldn't have even started asking questions and everybody would have gone about their night. And yeah, it's definitely easy to miss them if tongue is not bleeding and muscles aren't sore.
Yeah. Something new. It's weird that I kind of want people to know about my epilepsy. I'm a teenager who's still in high school, and there's literally 3 friends who know about my seizures. Obviously, since I'm a teenager, social media is a big thing. Like, for some reason, I want to make posts about it and like TikToks and stuff about the struggles of epilepsy. It's so strange to me, the fact that I struggle with it as much as I do, yet nobody knows about it. Is it weird that I want people to know? No, it's not necessarily weird. It's not something I do, but I let people know in certain situations. Not everybody needs to know. Um, Still, I don't say it's weird. I just say, for me personally, I don't think I need to tell everybody unless I'm in a vulnerable situation. Then I make sure people around me know because I could possibly hurt myself or worse.
I think everyone's in a different. I think it's good in a way that you want people to know because it's going to spread awareness. But at the same time, I'm not very well, when I was working, I only told certain people about it because, I didn't want to lose my jobs and whatever. So I did what I needed to do to stay safe, but also what I needed to do to make my money.
Yeah, do what you got to do is a pretty steady mindset once the diagnosis happened. Didn't always feel good, but you just got to do what you got to do and don't complain about it. Dealing with people at a job, knowing about a diagnosis is one of those things that it's necessary, but definitely not desired. I mean, today I think the wife was a medical. She worked in a hospital, so she was going on about that, and I think that's why I first said to her, what her service task was just carrying the nasal lamp. And then when the other family got there and they overheard, then the next lady that walked up barely spoke English, but she knew that we had epilepsy. So we didn't hide it at that point. I don't bother to hide it. Mostly, if I know it's someplace I'm not going to come back and see these people again, that's the only reason I spoke freely about it today. But yeah, it does spread awareness, and this group has helped me know what to say better.
Yeah. I liked that kid earlier. He was interested in learning more about his epilepsy.
Yes, that mom too from the UK.
Yeah, I like that she wanted to know too, that she wanted to help our kid. That's dope. Um, I got
She
another
was trying to
person.
help it in 2 ways.
Yeah,
She was trying to help him learn, and she was trying to encourage him to come.
yeah. I got something. It says at the end of my rope, 28-year-old female have had epilepsy since early childhood after almost dying multiple times from epileptic seizures. My seizures have become more frequent and more severe recently with a new medication. I informed my specialist, epi nurse, that the new medication is not working, and she says, let's increase it. My seizures become more severe. I go back to her and say, hey, they're definitely not working and are really limiting my life. And send her a video my mom made and took of a really bad seizure I had in front of her, which ended up in the hospital. The reply I got back from the epilepsy specialist: this video is not an epileptic seizure. This is a functional dissociative seizure. Have you been extra anxious recently or not sleeping? So, for the past 28 years of seizures, it's been anxiety. Oh, this person's saying, so for the past 20 years, you saying it's been anxiety? Um, I'm with you there. Yeah, you got to get, a lot of people need second opinions. This shit is crazy. Um, also,
Yeah,
she sent a letter. Go ahead.
I was saying, yeah, you need a second opinion for that one. If they're telling you it's anxiety and your seizures are ramping and they're deadly, like becoming more violent, you're obviously your meds are not working, and they got to get you new treatment.
One of the comments says, I swear when I did these, I swear when did these neurologists become so patronizing? We live with this condition every day. I think we know the difference between anxiety and a seizure. Of course, we all experience different things, but what happened to person centered care? We live in these bodies, and yes, anxiety comes with having seizures, but slamming into the floor, twisting up, convulsing, being spaced out is an anxiety. Sorry, since being on this forum, all I see is how badly people with epilepsy are being treated, and it's infuriating. I'm sorry you've had this experience and that people who can make a change for you are reluctant to actually help. I've been called non-compliant for my meds not working out for me, not working out well for me. Absolute nonsense. We have to remain there for each other and advocate for ourselves more than ever. Good luck, and I hope you find your new epi nurse and actually with actual compassion. Someone else said, I completely understand. I was diagnosed 15 years ago. I had roughly 4 neuros and 2 epi nurses, and I still being passed around onto 5th neuro, all because they want instant results, as if we wouldn't love that for ourselves also. Like you, I don't particularly want to talk to another healthcare about a professional that they are not. So I am here. These forums have given me much more comfort in knowing I'm not alone as I thought I was. I hope it can do the same for you. I say self advocate, and if they don't like it, talk to someone else.
I think it's just you and me, Pookie.
And then there was 2.
Yeah. Kate said goodbye while you were reading that.
Oh, okay. I got one for both of us. It says changes occur as we age. For people out there who have been dealing with this epilepsy for 20 plus years, especially if you're over 50, how have you noticed any changes in your seizure patterns or effectiveness of your medication? Especially, did your seizures either stabilize and occur less often, or the opposite? Did the effectiveness of your medication decrease? Um, I'm not over 50, but I've had it for 20 plus years. And with age, I say they did started getting worse until I got a medication that I noticed helped a little, and then I knocked out all the dumb shit. Uh, yeah, nicotine and some other shit I was doing. Just not sleeping, not treating my body well. Yeah, once I stop doing that, the medicine pretty much helps get down from so many yearly to 3 to 5, and I'm happy to 3 to 5. I'm happy with that lately.
Yeah. For me, I'm also not over 50, but yeah, I notice new seizure types are coming in. Like I had clusters come in, and I'm not sure about this one, but my doctor was telling me about the absent seizure, and I'm like, what? So it's, your seizure starts changing, I think, or you start getting more. I think you become, as you get older, I'm not going to say everyone is susceptible to it, but, as the aging process goes, you might become more vulnerable if you've been having a lot of seizures a long time, but hopefully not. We all hope for better days.
Right. This one, it says, I have like 10 seizures a week. Okay, so basically, I have at least 10 seizures a week, epileptic and non-epileptic, bilateral temporal lobe epilepsy, super rare. I cannot find a job for me. Jesus. I used to live on my own and have so many seizures, up to like 7 a day at times. What do I even do? I can't even show up to work, messed up on emergency seizure meds. I literally can't do anything, LOL, because everything has a floor, or I have to have consciousness. I've done so many jobs, but what about y'all? I wasn't having 10 a week. I was having a decent amount a month, not a week. So that is rough, and I could imagine trying to hold a job with 10 a week, because usually you work 40 hours a week. Yeah, that's rough. With jobs, every job I left, didn't exactly get fired. It was just like, I don't even think they were worried about it. I think I could have stayed at these jobs, but I left. I was hurting myself, really bad, like the deep fryer situation, deep fried Pookie. I didn't like it. It wasn't fun. The next day I had blisters and it was crazy, and I popped them with a tack and a sewing needle and all that. So yeah, that was rough. I got videos of that too. I wonder if I could post that.
Yeah, most of my jobs were short term, probably less than 5 years. With the exception of my final one, which was actually close to 11 years. And I think the reason I lasted there more was because it was a union-based job where it was harder to get, and I could go through the time I accrued for my seizures. Like I used to use paid time off just to, when I knew I had to take a EEG or something. And they were understanding with me, like calling out sick and stuff. So, but eventually I did run out of medical time and medical leave. So they had to let me go.
I love that my mom came. I'm gonna try to get her to come more. And
yeah, she was a good person. I love her.
She loved it. She's definitely gonna come more. She's gonna be like, when I ask her, she's gonna be like, sure, son. And yeah, she's definitely gonna learn so much more. It was nice, Angel. It was a great freaking day, and I'm gonna go figure out what I can do with the rest of this daylight.
Go do some jumping jacks and stuff.
Oh
Looks
man,
like it's Sunday.
I don't want to have a seizure doing jumping jacks. I'm home alone. I'm not gonna stress my body.
Capri didn't take me tonight.
Right, I noticed that. I was gonna say that you let that ex-copper didn't get the best of you.